Hello, my name's Kieran Dale, and in this Show Me Do I'm going to be showing you how to create a proper wxPython application. Now in the last demonstration in this series we showed how in 5 lines you can actually get a window up and running in wxPython, but it wasn't immediately extendable and didn't really do very much. So we had our frame here called Hello World. I'll show you what that did. I'll save it. That created our little box with a title Hello World. So in this Show Me Do we're going to take things a little bit further and create a more conventional application. Now just to recap, we made use of the wxFrame class in the last demonstration. In wxPython, all widgets that you see, all sliders and buttons and text controls and the like, are subclassed from a wxWindow main class. So wxWindow, anything you can see on the screen essentially is a wxWindow. What you might conventionally think of as a window, as in a sort of frame which contains panels and buttons and the rest of it, is actually covered in wxPython by the name frame. So every application you create will make use of frames essentially. So without further ado, let's show you how we can turn this into something a little bit more conventional. Now I've made a little space for myself there. We're going to create our own frame class which will subclass from wxFrame, so we don't need to make that call or that call. We will still need our PySimpleApplication call here, and we're going to send that into a main loop, so that doesn't change. So first we create our class, we'll call it main window, and we'll subclass that from the wxPython class frame. Now this has initializer, so we'll define our initializer in it, and this is going to receive self, which is mandatory in Python, a parent reference, an ID reference is going to be sent into it, and a title. And the first thing we need to do is to call wxFrame's initializer with essentially a repeat of the values above. So self parent, we'll use wx.idAny, which says we don't really mind anything come in. We'll give it a title and a size, which is a tuple, contain 2 values, which are x and y lengths and heights. So I'll make that 400 by 200. We're also going to give this style. You can use this style tag. We call a couple of wx constants. First is default frame style, so we're nothing special here. We use an OR call, so we can stack these calls, and this one is more important. We'll do no full repaint on resize. So what that says is that because we're dealing with a text object, it makes sense to not redraw the whole portion of the screen when we resize it, because the text will doesn't need to change its shape or size. It stays where it is on the screen and doesn't need redrawing, so we can use that to reduce flicker. We're going to give this main window class a control, which will be an object which is derived from, which is taken from a text control class, wxPython. Call this with self, so that will be received as the parent from the text control, which is of course this main window class. 1 for an ID, and we'll give this a style. Now it accepts a number of styles, but the one we're interested in is TE multi-line. So what that's saying is that it's going to be a text area which can take multiple lines of text. Now we call our function, which is show true. Now, if you remember, in our previous demonstration we had to call show explicitly on the frame which we'd called from wxFrame, because in the wxFrame initializer it's not automatically called. Because we've subclassed wxFrame and created our own window, we can make it shown by default, self-show true. So we don't need to call that explicitly. So now, down here where we initially called, in the last demonstration, called frame, created a frame and then showed it, we're now going to do it again. We'll create a frame. This time we're going to use the class that we've just created, main window, and we're going to, it has no parent as such, -1, which means that the wxPython can assign it a name. We're not going to do that, and we'll call it small editor. So, errors aside, we'll save that, and we should be able to just run that module. Aha! So here we have a small editor. This is a text area, as you can see. So we can write on it. Oops, caps lock. We can write stuff. It's not much more that we can do at the moment, but as you can see, it's there for writing text. And in later Show Me Do's, I'll be showing you how we can make use of that and actually put it to some use. So there we go, end of demonstration.